Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck, wondering how some people retire early while you're stuck in the 9-to-5 grind? The secret is financial freedom. And today, I'll show you exactly how you can achieve it, no matter your income. Imagine waking up every morning without worrying about bills, debt, or your job. This isn't just a dream, it's possible. Stay with me till the end, and I'll give you a step-by-step roadmap to achieve true financial independence. Chapter 1. What is financial freedom? In the sweltering summer heat of Austin, Texas, the streets bustled with life. Food trucks beckoned passers-by with lively aromas, and street musicians strummed melodies that danced upon the air. Yet in a cozy coffee shop, tucked away from the chaos, a different kind of energy filled the space. This was the Souza Symposium, a gathering place for aspiring entrepreneurs and would-be investors. At the corner table, Clara Rivera, a 30-something dreamer and a once dedicated corporate worker, stirred her iced matcha. The sun filtered through the large windows, illuminating her determined expression as she scrolled through her tablet, eyeing her growing list of passive income ventures. Clara had a vision: financial freedom, a concept that had once felt like a distant glimmer, now flickered brightly ahead. She recalled her past self, years spent chained to a corporate desk, a comfortable paycheck trickling in every month. Yet she had felt like a payment cog in a giant machine. Every day started with the same weary rhythm, a commute filled with frenetic energy, endless meetings that swallowed her creativity, dreaming of weekends that felt too short. The notion of financial freedom then appeared like mirage, elusive and shimmering. On a scale of 1 to 10, how free do you feel right now? She remembered her mentor, Thomas, asking her during their first coffee meeting. Clara had shrugged, maybe a 3. She watched him smile knowingly, a spark of ambition igniting in his gaze. "Let's change that," he had said confidently, pulling out a worn notebook where he penned out the fundamentals of wealth creation and financial independence. The turning point that was 3 years ago. Clara leaned back in her chair, allowing the weight of her journey to settle in. The more she researched and learned about passive income, the more doors opened. She spent late nights reading books and attending workshops until she began to unravel the intertwined threads of financial literacy. Stocks, real estate, online business ventures. One by one, she took bold steps towards achieving her goal. First, she delved into the realm of real estate. After saving up a tidy nest egg from her corporate job, she purchased a small duplex on the outskirts of town. With the help of a property manager and a bit of elbow grease, she transformed one unit into a short-term rental. The journey was rife with challenges, from problematic tenants to roofing issues. But Clara embraced each obstacle, each lesson nudging her closer to financial stability. Alongside her real estate venture, Clara tapped into her creative side, launching a blog that chronicled her journey toward financial freedom. It started as a personal outlet, but soon turned into a revenue source through affiliate marketing and digital products. She shared tips about budgeting, stories of failure and success, and the meaning of true wealth, which to her was not just about money, but also about freedom. The Freedom Manifesto. When the blog gained traction, Clara decided to create a manifesto for herself. She would write down what financial freedom truly meant. Titled The Freedom Manifesto, it centered around 5 key pillars. No more worries about monthly bills. She wrote of days when she could walk into her favorite cafe and order any drink without looking at the price or checking her bank account. Multiple sources of income, the financial safety net woven from her rental income, blog revenue, and investments, would cushion her fall during economic downturns. Early retirement, sketching visions of sipping coffee in Bali or hiking through the Alps, Clara imagined a life where the clock no longer dictated her choices. She would be free, not just financially, but to explore the world and herself. Opportunities for others. Once she had navigated her own path, she aimed to mentor others, much like Thomas had once done for her. Sharing knowledge and empowering others would become an essential form of wealth. Continual learning and growth. She wanted to invest in herself continuously, whether through courses, reading, or new experiences. Financial literacy was only half the battle. Personal development intertwined with it was crucial for sustained freedom. Clara pinned the manifesto above her desk, a constant reminder of where she was heading. Server at the bar. As the weeks turned into months and the months into years, Clara began to reap the rewards. She realized she naturally gravitated towards others who shared her passion for financial independence. At the symposium, she often found herself seated next to a group of vibrant individuals, such as Mark, a former software developer, and Jessica, a freelance graphic designer. One evening, while engaging in light banter with Jessica alongside a round of cold brews, the conversation shifted to life goals. Jessica remarked, "What does financial freedom truly allow you to do?" Clara took a sip, contemplating the question. "It's like having the choice," she said slowly, "freeing yourself from just surviving and instead thriving. I want the freedom to be creative, to explore my passions, to wake up without dread." Mark chimed in, his brow furrowed in deep thought. "You know, I don't think people realize financial freedom is really about mindset, too. I used to think wealth meant 6 figures, a fancy car, and an extravagant house. But I realized it's about choices and how you spend your time." Nodding in agreement, Clara felt invigorated by the discussion. She had long held the belief that financial freedom was multifaceted, an intricate dance between financial acumen and personal growth. The turning tide. However, as successes came, so did hardships. A global pandemic struck, rattling the economy and sending shockwaves through her rental business. Bookings dropped, and fear gripped her heart. Clara realized the importance of financial resilience when her passive income streams started to ebb. In the depths of uncertainty, she turned to her manifesto, using it as a lifeline. Instead of succumbing to panic, Clara pivoted. She shifted her blog narrative, creating content geared toward helping others navigate financial hardships during the pandemic. She organized online webinars to share actionable strategies, turned her audience into a supportive community, and reassured them about the path forward. Through these efforts, she opened up new revenue streams and received offers for collaborations that had never crossed her mind before. The coffee shop became a melting pot of ideas and innovation, where Clara and her friends shared stories of overcoming challenges and building resilience. Not just numbers. Months later, the world began to recover, and with it, so did Clara's endeavors. Her real estate investments began to flourish again, and the community she had built became a source of income and friendship. As she sat at the corner table one sunny afternoon, reflecting on her journey, she acknowledged a profound shift within her. Clara's story was not just about attaining financial freedom. It had transformed into a journey of self-discovery. The challenges consumed her, yes, yet they also illuminated her strengths. Each hurdle refined her vision of what financial freedom meant. It was not merely the ability to retire early or travel the world, but the understanding of who she was and the impact she could have on others. Raising her glass of iced matcha toward Jessica and Mark, who laughed heartily recounting their latest ventures, Clara felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. She had embarked on this journey seeking independence from the 9-to-5 grind, and had uncovered connections, resilience, dreams, and a community that thrummed with possibility. "Here's to financial freedom and the roads we travel," she toasted, smiling brightly. The trio clinked their glasses, a resounding cheer echoing through the symposium. It was not just the freedom achieved that they celebrated, but the journey in camaraderie. A shared understanding that financial freedom was a path paved with laughter, tenacity, and a relentless pursuit of dreams. Together, they were not just investors or entrepreneurs. They were dreamers unafraid to step off the beaten path, ready to mold their lives into a vibrant tapestry of aspirations realized, a reflection of what it truly meant to be free. Chapter 2. The 5-step formula to achieve financial freedom. The sun was dipping below the horizon, casting warm hues of orange and pink across the suburban skyline, as Sarah Matthews sat hunched over her cluttered desk. Bills were strewn about, their stark white envelopes starkly contrasting with the faded wood grain of her desk. She sighed, a mix of frustration and determination welling in her chest. At 32, she found herself living paycheck to paycheck, with dreams of financial freedom always feeling just out of reach. But tonight was different. Tonight, she had a plan. Earlier that day, during her lunch break, she had stumbled upon a blog that changed everything. It spoke of a 5-step formula to achieve financial freedom, and as she read, something clicked deep within her. She couldn't just wish for a better life. It was time to take control of her finances and future. Step number 1. Master the art of budgeting. Sarah started with the first step, mastering the art of budgeting. With her laptop open and a fresh spreadsheet staring back at her, she began to dissect her financial life. She recalled the advice she had read, the 50-30-20 rule, 50% of her income for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and investments. She'd been so consumed by her desires, dining out, impulse shopping, the luxury of a daily coffee from her favorite cafe, that she had lost track of her essentials. With strict focus, she entered her income for the month and calculated her necessities, rent, utilities, groceries, and before she knew it, she had mapped out a detailed budget. It was liberating to see everything in front of her, the numbers telling a story she now had the power to rewrite. As she completed the spreadsheet, a sense of accomplishment washed over her. For the first time, she could see where her money was going, and it surprised her how much was spent on things she didn't need. With a solid plan in hand, Sarah knew she was ready for the next step. Step number 2. Eliminate bad debt. Fast clutching her phone, Sarah glanced at her various credit card statements. They spoke of late nights and careless spending, always luring her into a trap that felt impossible to escape. The second step called to her. Eliminate bad debt. Fast, using the avalanche method, she decided to tackle her highest interest credit card first. Rounding up every spare dollar she could muster, she transferred her monthly budget by trimming back on dining out, postponing her subscription services, and, most importantly, making sacrifices without feeling deprived. With each payment made, she felt herself pulling away from the suffocating grip of her debts. Days turned into weeks, and something remarkable happened. She even found side gigs that not only helped her boost her income, but also allowed her to pursue interests she had shelved. A knack for photography led her to take on occasional gigs as a freelancer, capturing family portraits and events. Every check she received felt like a solid blow against the debt that had once threatened to drown her. Step number 3, build multiple income streams. As financial stability started taking shape, Sarah moved on to the third step, building multiple income streams. The idea felt exhilarating. She was no longer dependent on her 9-to-5 job. Inspired, she began researching her options beyond freelancing. Could she really invest in the stock market? Was real estate attainable? After careful research, she was captivated by the world of stock trading. With cautious excitement, she opened her first investment account, using funds she had meticulously saved from her budget. Investing felt like planting seeds in a garden. Each dollar was a seed that, with care, would grow into something flourishing and bountiful. After a few months, her curated portfolio blossomed. She learned to monitor trends, understand market fluctuations, and gradually built a comfortable nest egg that expanded day by day. Sarah also started a blog to document her journey, covering everything she had learned about budgeting, debt elimination, and investing. To her surprise, it garnered traffic and interest, leading to modest ad revenue, another stream of income she never thought possible. Step number 4, invest like the wealthy. With the thrill of side hustles and investments propelling her forward, Sarah dove into the fourth step, invest like the wealthy. She'd learned through countless articles that saving alone wasn't enough. True wealth grew from strategic investments. Shifting her focus, she began exploring index funds and cryptocurrency. Each decision was backed by the hours of research she diligently put in, comparisons carefully drawn, and risks calculated. Unlike the reckless spending habits of her past, Sarah now had a clear vision of her financial future. One early Saturday morning, over freshly brewed coffee, she hesitated before ending her morning ritual of pleasure scrolling through social media. Instead, she took to the screen, exploring a webinar about real estate investing. The financial prospects were intriguing. Flipping houses and owning rentals could solidify her wealth. With new resolve, she dove into courses on real estate, absorbing every detail related to property values, rental markets, and the nuances of being a landlord. It felt natural, a whirlwind of excitement and determination enveloping her as she rounded yet another key piece of her financial strategy. Step number 5, make your money work for you. Months passed, and as summer gave way to fall, Sarah's journey brought her to the 5th step, making her money work for her. After a series of informed investments and careful savings, she finally felt equipped to embrace passive income. With her newfound knowledge, she gravitated toward rental properties. Pooling her finances with a close friend, they ventured into a modest fixer-upper, an empty duplex that was begging for renovation. It was daunting, yet thrilling to imagine what it would be like to have tenants cover her mortgage and contribute to her wealth. their weekends transformed into hands-on experiences, sweat dripping down their brows as they passionately painted walls, fixed pipes, and transformed the space into a desirable rental. As the first tenants moved in, the thrill was almost euphoric. The rent rolled in each month, reinforcing the idea that money could work for her while she slept. As she sat on her balcony one lazy autumn night, Sarah marveled at the progress she'd made. She'd mastered budgeting, eliminated her bad debt, built multiple income streams, learned to invest like the wealthy, and now reveled in the fruits of passive income. These steps had been more than just financial strategies. They had redefined her life. Sarah was finally on the path she had always envisioned, but had previously thought beyond reach. Now, as stars twinkled in the sky, she sensed a new chapter blossoming, a life filled with possibilities she had once thought were merely dreams. In this newfound freedom, the horizons stretched far beyond financial independence. They hinted at adventures, experiences, and the promise of a life well lived. And this was only the beginning. Chapter 3. Common Mistakes That Keep You Broke. In the heart of Riverside, a quaint suburban town recognized for its cozy coffee shops and small-town charm, lived a young woman named Lily Reynolds. At 28, Lily was a vibrant soul, passionate about literature and filled with ambitious dreams. Yet she constantly found herself stressed over money. Despite working at the local bookstore, her wage barely covered the rent of her small, one-bedroom apartment. She often heard advice from friends and family about managing finances, but she never seemed to put those words into action. Little did she know, her financial woes stemmed from a series of common mistakes she quarreled with almost daily. It was on a particularly rainy Tuesday evening, the sound of raindrops creating a symphony against her window, that Lily sat on her couch, drenched in frustration. She scrolled through social media, watching friends flaunt their recent vacations, fancy dinners, and shiny new gadgets. With each scroll, the insatiable ache of envy twisted deeper in her belly. "Why can't I have that?" she muttered to herself, taking another sip from her steaming mug of chamomile tea. It was an herbal reminder to calm her frustration. That night, as she tucked herself into bed, a thought lingered in her mind. What if I made some changes? As she drifted off to sleep, her struggles morphed into a vision, a blueprint of what she could accomplish. With some resolve, Lily woke up the next morning feeling invigorated and ready to weave a new narrative for her life. Change begins with awareness. The following day, she attended her usual coffee shop, Café du Jardin. Nestled in the corner, she observed the ebb and flow of customers. Suddenly, she noticed a regular patron, Emma, who always seemed to work on project after project. Emma often stayed until closing time, fingers typing away on her laptop. Frustration bubbled in Lily again. She felt she was merely passing through life, while it seemed Emma was crafting hers. "Why do you always work so hard?" Lily blurted out one day, unable to suppress her curiosity. Emma looked up from her screen, closing the laptop with a soft smile. "Well, I prioritize my goals, and I've learned a lot about finance and investing. You should consider doing the same." Reluctantly, Lily shared that she often made spontaneous purchases and that her only source of income came from her bookstore job. Emma's eyes widened, and she leaned forward, ready to impart her wisdom. "Lily, those are common mistakes many make that keep them stuck financially. Stop spending money on things you don't need." The words echoed in Lily's ears. She felt a prick of realization. The chic clothes she bought impulsively, the constant brunches with friends, the monthly book subscriptions she rarely utilized, all indulgences that drained her bank account. I can't live like this anymore, she thought with a sense of urgency. Emma continued, don't rely on one job. It's risky. Diversifying your income can open up opportunities you never imagined. Lily nodded, seizing this newfound information. She had dabbled in freelance writing on the side, but abandoned it a while back when it felt overwhelming. Perhaps it was time to revisit her passion and redo her action plan. Then Emma made her final point. And please, if you don't invest, inflation will eat your savings. You need to make your money work for you. Lily felt like a shipwreck survivor washed ashore, finding herself presented with a vibrant world of possibilities. She left the cafe that day armed with Emma's powerful wisdom, ready to enact change, creating an action plan. That evening, Lily sat at her kitchen table, armed with notebooks and colored pens. She felt like an architect about to blueprint her life. The rhythmic sound of rain against her window brought her comfort as she organized her thoughts, budgeting and spending wisely. She started as simple as cutting down her coffee shop visits and meal deliveries. Lily allocated a strict budget for non-essential items each month, holding herself accountable. She found joy in brewing her coffee, exploring recipes, and inviting friends over more often. Diversify her income. By the end of the week, Lily resurrected her freelance writing and made it her mission to search for odd jobs. She wrote captivating marketing copy for local businesses and started a blog about affordable lifestyle tips. She connected with Emma and joined an online freelance forum to gain traction. Investing, no matter how small. With some savings built from her budgeting efforts, Lily did research and opened a simple investment account. She began investing in low-risk funds. Admittedly, she began with a mere $50, but the empowerment she felt was incomparable. It ignited a drive to learn more about money management through courses and books, adopting a new vocabulary about finance. As weeks turned into months, the small changes amassed into monumental shifts. Lily felt more empowered, enjoying new ventures with each passing day. She learned to challenge her impulses and set intentional spending goals. Rather than drowning herself in jealousy of her friends' glamorous lives, she cultivated an enriching lifestyle based on her budget and passions. Though adversity still knocked at her door, Lily found solace and strength in her newfound routine. She connected with people in her freelance network, learning that diversifying income could be a collaborative journey. Soon, she became confident enough to branch out and even take on a part-time role as a marketing coordinator for a local artists' cooperative. A new chapter unfolds. One evening after a long day of work, Lily walked into Café du Jardin and spotted Emma. Drawing in a deep breath, she approached her table. I owe you a lot of thanks, you know. I've been following your advice. Emma's face lit up with joy. That's wonderful. Tell me everything. Lily shared how her finances transformed into a more manageable reality. Emma listened intently, nodding. When Lily spoke about her freelance success, Emma complimented her, proclaiming, "You're taking charge of your life, and that's inspiring." As they chatted, Emma mentioned a new investment group meeting next week. You should join us. We'll be discussing future goals, investments, and budgeting strategies to keep growing. Lily felt excitement flare within her. Absolutely, I'd love that. In the following weeks, Sunrise brought new opportunities, and Lily encased herself among like-minded individuals who ignited her ambition and passion. Her confidence grew as she informed other women about the importance of financial literacy. She discovered workshops throughout the community and began volunteering her writing skills to educate others. Lily savored moments of self-discovery and empowerment, realizing that her journey wasn't just about money. It was about finding her voice, constructing a life she truly valued. As she continued to invest her time and energy in her goals, she no longer felt confined by chains of insecurity and ignorance. Now her story had transformed from one of longing to one of aspiration. The whispers of "you're broke" morphed into "you're building something great." And Lily knew this was just the beginning. The raindrops outside her window danced like a celebration, resonating with her heart. And for the first time in a long while, Lily felt a wave of happiness wash over her. She had written the first chapters of her new life, and they were full of promise. Chapter 4: The Fastest Way to Financial Freedom in the USA. Evelyn had always dreamed of financial freedom, the kind of life where she could wake up each day without the heavy burden of debt weighing her down. Unlike her friends, who spent their weekends binge-watching shows or hitting the latest brunch spots, she pored over financial books and listened to podcasts about wealth management. She had so many ideas scribbled in her notebooks, but there never seemed to be the right time to act. It was the day after her 30th birthday when Evelyn finally had her epiphany. Surrounded by sparkling confetti and half-eaten slices of cake, she reflected on her life choices. "If not now, when?" she whispered to herself, a quiet determination igniting within her. Evelyn decided to make a choice, to invest time, knowledge, and her modest savings into something bigger. She began her journey into wealth building by setting 3 fundamental goals: start early, leverage tax advantages, and live below her means. Starting early? With her newfound resolve, Evelyn wasted no time. The next day, she opened her laptop to research investment options. Guided by the philosophy of starting early, she learned that the earlier one invests, the more time their money has to grow. She came across the concept of compound interest, a financial magic that made her heart race. After crunching the numbers, she was astonished to see how even small amounts set aside could flourish into a substantial sum if invested wisely. With every paycheck, she committed to setting aside 15% into a diverse portfolio: stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. She started with a modest $300 a month. To some, it seemed insignificant, but to Evelyn, it was the beginning of something monumental. Weeks turned into months, and her newfound discipline began to shape her daily routine. She skipped the overpriced coffee on her way to work, bringing her own brewed blend instead. She canceled unnecessary subscriptions and cut back on dining out. Each dollar saved felt like building a brick in her financial fortress. Excitedly, she watched her investment account grow little by little. Leveraging tax advantages. During this journey, Evelyn knew she had to educate herself about leveraging tax advantages. She stumbled upon the virtues of 401k plans and Roth IRAs, learning about their tax benefits. Inspired, she began to shift her practices accordingly. The moment she became eligible for her employer's 401k program, she enrolled and took full advantage of their matching contributions. Essentially, free money for her future. She diligently pumped her 401k contributions up to the maximum limit her employer would match, feeling every dollar contribute to her ultimate goal of financial independence. Not content to stop there, Evelyn educated herself about the Roth IRA. She found out how contributions were made with money already taxed, making withdrawals in retirement tax-free. The appeal was irresistible. She set up automatic transfers each month, directing a portion of her paycheck into her Roth IRA. Right before bed, she would check her account, the numbers growing like her excitement. Evelyn's circle of friends began to notice changes in her lifestyle. Although she didn't have the latest gadgets or accessories, she radiated a contentment that they found intriguing. Flashy outings were replaced with cozy evenings filled with board games and potlucks with friends, a reprieve from financial pressure. Slowly, curiosity brewed among her peers, a quest for understanding the choices this often serious Evelyn was making. Living below, her means with wealth creation. Blossoming in her life, the next component of her strategy was to embrace a lifestyle of living below her means. This was where the traditional narrative began to clash with societal expectations. TV commercials flashed images of opulence, brand-name clothing, luxury cars, and extravagant vacations. Yet Evelyn found liberation in rejecting these ideals. As she tackled her student loans, she reviewed her monthly expenses. Instead of a new car, she opted to repair her trusty old sedan. The car's age served as a reminder of her previous fashion of living, one steeped in debt. The money she saved on payments was redirected to her investments, giving her a sense of purpose she had never felt before. Even though her peers indulged in lavish outings, Evelyn relished the sense of control over her finances. Getting snacks for movie nights with friends or hosting game nights in her cozy apartment, she made conscious efforts to surround herself with quality friendships rather than costly activities. The feeling of being in charge of her future was intoxicating. But the most transformative moment came when she attended a financial seminar one evening, where she was introduced to a community of like-minded individuals also pursuing financial independence. It was here that she met Jack, a financial advisor who had broken free from the corporate grind. Jack's enthusiasm for practical financial advice was infectious. He spoke passionately about the power of passive income, a concept that had always lingered at the back of Evelyn's mind. "What if we could start a side hustle together?" he proposed one evening after the seminar. "Let's tap into a niche market and build something that feeds your passion." Evelyn's heart raced. She had always loved cooking and was known for her impressive baking skills. "A baking business?" she suggested with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "Yes, you could offer custom cakes and baked goods to your growing network. Think of it as a stepping stone to freedom," Jack encouraged. Together they launched Evelyn's Exquisite Treats, and so began her journey into entrepreneurship. Each order placed, every satisfied customer felt as though she was adding another layer to her financial foundation. She reinvested her profits back into the business and her investments, allowing the cycle of wealth building to flourish. The transformation, as the months passed, the process of becoming financially savvy illuminated her life in ways she never expected. Evelyn watched her investments yield returns that exceeded her expectations. The magic of compounding, combined with her commitment, was slowly pushing her toward her goal. Her evenings turned from mindless scrolling through social media to focused planning sessions, where she updated her budget and explored additional investment opportunities. Evelyn began to realize that wealth wasn't just about the money in her accounts. It was the freedom to choose how she spent her time. One afternoon, after a particularly successful month for her baking venture, Evelyn received a call from her investment firm. Her portfolio had hit the six-figure mark. Tears pricked her eyes as she struggled to comprehend her journey. The hours spent studying, the sacrifices made, and the fears she had overcome all culminated in this moment of financial achievement. With every milestone reached, she grew more connected to her life's purpose. Financial freedom, once a distant dream, felt tangible and within reach. And it wasn't just about escaping the chains of debt or the fear of her paycheck running out before the month ended. It was about designing a legacy. Evelyn began sharing her experiences and knowledge with others, hosting workshops and online webinars aimed at helping young professionals navigate their own financial journeys. She cultivated a community of eager learners who flocked to her for advice. As the years rolled by, she remained committed to her evolving plan. Focused on her goals, she transformed her once stressed existence into one of abundance and empowerment. Evelyn owned her journey to financial freedom, testament to what a few fundamental principles could accomplish when enacted with fierce dedication. Under the glow of a late afternoon sun, with flour on her apron and laughter filling her home from friends enjoying her handmade cupcakes, she smiled. Yes, she had found the fastest way to financial freedom in the United States. Not through a single quick fix, but through consistent actions, invaluable learning, and an unwavering belief in herself. Waiting too long to start. Even if you only have $100, start investing today. Financial freedom is possible for anyone, but only if you take action. Are you ready to break free? Comment "freedom" below and start your journey today. Subscribe Cash $4 for more financial tips.